So this video is about Sammy's new video, Everyone Is You Pushed Out, which is directly related to the comment that she had left for me a while ago. You could see it on my post. There's like my community thing, and that's under the post, where she said that it's ignorant to say that we create everyone and everything, which is completely different than what she has taught in the past, right? So I do agree with some points that she has made, like we don't purposely create everybody and everything and what's going on in their lives. It is something that's like, okay, we've grown to have an understanding of the way the world works, and we have an idea that people live their own lives and do their own thing. But what I find is funny is that she says people treat you the way that, like, based on your self-concept, right? So for me, when she says, why are we all fighting, or why are, why is this girl like acting this way towards me, it's because she has a belief or an insecurity and has a crappy self-concept, because I'm not the only one that comes after her. It's a lot of people come after her. So there's something wrong with her self-concept, or a belief that she has, or something she's focusing on, right? Or is it my belief? Is it me believing that? Because at the end of the day, this is all me. Like, I'm creating Sammy to be this way. But she says she's not responsible for my behavior. Yes, you are, doll. You just said that. Like, she is very contradicting in everything that she says. Like, I don't know I'm creating her to be like this. I don't really give a shit, though. Like, I choose to live in this reality where everything's just natural. Like, I naturally am creating her to be like this. I'm naturally, like, dealing with it however I want to deal with it. Doesn't mean I'm in victim state. I just don't really care. I don't freaking give a shit if she's like this or not. I don't. Oh, sorry. My son's correcting me now. He's helping me. So, I know. Okay, shoot. I don't give a shoot. So, but she said it's not like it's a dream, and it's not like everybody's not real, and we should stop telling people that. And it's like when I think about this, though, I'm like, it has to be that way. It has to be that, like, we're creating everybody in our own reality. If we're the only ones that are aware, how is it that anybody else is real? A lot of it doesn't make sense, like, at all. But it's like, if everybody else was able to create, I don't know. I don't know. It's very confusing sometimes. But think about it, though. If everybody was able to create, then it wouldn't be possible for everybody to have what they want and be happy. And I think sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe that's why, like, when you want to manifest somebody, you end up getting someone better because that person doesn't want to, or, you know what I mean? So there's like a million different ways that this could all be real. Like, it could be like that we're all conscious, co-creating, right? And the God or the universe or whatever, our one consciousness has a way that it can all work out for everybody. But I don't think that that's how it works. I really don't, because there's just so many things that are just happening for one specific person. And that's me, right? It's like, if what I want for any of these people, if I want it, it's gonna happen. It has to, because it's my reality, right? So that would take away everyone else's power to do anything, which would mean that they're not real. Unless we're all co-creating, and I really don't have a say in anything either. Other people are just manifesting for me, and that feels a little scary sometimes. It makes me not want to tell anybody about the law, But from what I've experienced, I am creating everything, and all the stuff that we've created so far, like the wars that she was talking about and all of that, that is because we had the idea of how the world is, how the world works, and etc. Like she said, that part I believe, yeah, like, you're not technically creating that, but the idea that people are off doing their own thing when you're not around, like, that's an idea too. They're really not doing anything. They're not doing anything. It's just our mind is like, the only time you hear something about what they're doing in the reality is when it's in your awareness. They're not doing anything outside of your awareness, right? It feels like they are because it is supposed to feel like it. it's supposed to feel real. Because I don't know if you've seen Tom Karen's video about the double agent. It's if you find out that, you know, this is all real, then the game's over. It's not fun anymore, because you know, like, that you're God. So it's supposed to appear hard. It's supposed to appear as if you're learning, growing, evolving. But, like, that's just the game. That is just the human experience. It is supposed to feel like that. I thought it was weird with Bashar too, and I questioned this too. I'm like, okay, he says, like, you know, certain people will die. Milo, certain people will die to, you know, for a purpose, right? There's a purpose in somebody's life, but that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense, because it's like everyone is living their own individual reality. So someone dying, like, it doesn't make sense, because you can bring them back. So if you can bring them back or shift into a reality where they never died, then what purpose did that fill? You know what I mean? If you could just bring them back, then it really didn't fill a purpose at all. Sometimes it does. It feels like we're co-creating. It really does. Like, a lot of the times, in, like, the egregorious thing that she's talking about or whatever, like, that sometimes makes sense to me too. But then that's also just a belief. Like, when she said, maybe all these, like, paranormal things happen because I believe they do. Yeah, it's just a belief. Because I don't know, you guys. It's supposed to feel like this, though. It's supposed to make you question it and be like, is this real? Is this not? Like, that is the whole point of it. And I've literally changed Putin's mind. I've literally scripted and had Putin do something I said he would do. So it's like, if I can control that guy, it has to be all me. It has to. Like, there's no way that everybody could have what they wanted if it wasn't all you. You know? And for her to say, because she said that everyone is you pushed out can't be used in every circumstance. And it's just like, well, okay, like, then what circumstance can it be used? And you're only controlling this one specific person, like me, because I'm just one individual person in your reality talking to you, and you don't control anything else or anyone else? That does not make sense. Why would you control this one person? Why would you control me but not everybody else? But then she says she doesn't control my behavior. But yeah, you do, because I'm just you pushed out. So you are in control of how I'm showing up for you. And how I know this is because when I was doing the Inked magazine thing, I was scripting that everyone respects me at all times. And I had so many disrespectful people at first, like, and then I started noticing everyone. I'm not even kidding. People would literally stop after they were rude to me and apologize to me, and they'd be like, you're right. Like, it was weird. It was so weird. But there was tons of people do it. Like, everyone was doing it. So it's like, she has a belief, or I have a belief that she has a belief, right? I have a belief that she has a belief that, you know, people treat her like shit. People don't agree with what she's saying. That is her. That is me believing that is her, you know? But it's fine. I don't care. But another thing, I had met this lady that was, like, really spiritual and stuff too. She had known about Eckhart Tolle and all this stuff. She seemed a little more law of attraction-y, but, like, she still understood the fact that we, like, created our own reality. And she watched this guy that had taken DMT, like, a lot of DMT, and he had gotten to a place where he was in, like, the blankness, the blackness, right, or whatever. And Naya talks about this in some of her videos too, like, go to the blackness, go to the darkness, the void, where there's, like, there's nothing there. It's just you and your awareness kind of thing. And it's just like a blank slate kind of thing. Well, this person had got into this state, and he decided that he wasn't going to make videos for people anymore, because he realized he was the only thing that existed in his reality. So he stopped making videos. But because we get this version of him, right, then, like, he really doesn't exist, but this is just a version of him that exists. And that is what we have created for our minds based off what we want. We're wanting to evolve. We're wanting to, so he technically doesn't exist, but like he stopped making videos because he realized I'm the only one that exists, and why would I do this? There's no point to do this when nothing else in my reality is real. And I've watched several videos of, people saying that like things don't exist. Like you'll be driving down a road and you'll take a right and there's nothing to the right. But as soon as your eyes and your awareness goes to the right, you're creating it as you go. Like your mind is projecting this mental image. And they say that's why you go to sleep and you sleep at night, is because like you need the energy to produce this world. And so when you don't sleep, you get into paralysis and you start seeing stuff that's not there. It's like your mind is glitching this world because it can't give you the full picture unless you have sleep. That's why sleep is so important. And but yeah, like the idea of how we create is our conscious awareness on how we observe matter and atoms changes the form of what those look like, right? Everything is the exact same, right? It's just matter and atoms, and that's it. Like everything is the same, but depending on how you're perceiving something is how it is going to look for you. And like, okay, for example, like if I was to say, okay, well, my boyfriend thinks this, that, and the other, that is also how I'm perceiving him based on a belief that I probably have about men or something, like, or a way that he acted one day. And I created a belief in my head and I was like, okay, this guy acts like this, so he must think this way. Or, there's just connections all in your brain. And it's like, okay, this guy said this, then you have a connection over here, a different neuron over here that like makes a connection. Okay, he said this, so he must be this type of person. This person acts like this, and so there's another connection over here. Oh, then they must be this type of person. And it's just like there's so many connections in your brain, like, so it really is all you, though. It's all your beliefs. And I know people say that too, like, you're living a victim mentality. Yeah, I know I am. I just don't really care. Like, I just choose to live my life like normally. Like, I don't care if I created it. I don't care to change it. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm not constantly trying to manifest or change things because I know that just being and allowing myself to be natural is how I get what I want anyways. I don't need to force myself to feel anything or anything different because I know that I am God. I know that it is done the second I say I want it. And that's it. I don't really have to do anything. Me doing stuff is like just my ego thinking that I have to do something. And then there's the appearance that you're doing something and the appearance that it's like happening. But really, it's already done. You will be guided no matter what. So that may seem as like a law of attraction thing. And it is what it is, but it really is done the moment that you say it's done. Like I said too, like when Tom Kieran said, the minute you have a desire, and Sammy said this too, you guys, I'll give her props for this one. The minute you have a desire, it is coming from God. That means it is already done. That is the spillover. It's spilling over. Your desires in the 4D, the 5D, whatever, are spilling over into your 3D. So if they're spilling over, that means it's already been created. It's already been done. The reason you even desire it is because you're supposed to have it because it's already fucking done. It's done. So, like Rosie says, what is there to do? What are you doing? If it's already done, then what are you doing? It's done. You're like living out the script. The minute you say you want something or desire something, you're living out the script to get to it. And if you're meant to affirm, you will be guided to affirm. You will feel like you need to affirm. And if you're not ready for this thing, when you're affirming, it's gonna feel hard. And you will be guided through your resistance till you are ready for this thing, right? And then when you are ready for this thing, maybe you'll get an idea in your head to affirm for it, and it won't feel hard anymore because you're ready for it. And when they say like divine timing isn't real, well, it kind of is, because it's all you, and it's like divine timing is based on you and how you feel you are ready for it or not. It's like you could say you're ready for it, but are you really? Like for me, like for a long time when I was manifesting stuff, it was like I would want it, but then I would get really anxious about like getting it, like like I would worry a lot. Like I wouldn't feel good enough for it, or I would just, so it is you, but it's like, it's for the best, honestly. Like you wouldn't want something you weren't ready for, you would want it to last, you would want it to be in the best way possible. So yes and no, divine timing is real, but it isn't, but it is. Like you can obviously like change anything that you want at any time if you really want to. But as far as everyone is you pushed out, like no, she definitely, or I definitely believe that she definitely created me to show up this way for her. Like she could sit here and say that she's not going to be responsible for my behavior, but you are, though. You are. Like how are you? That's stupid. Like maybe you didn't create specifically that it would be me that said this stuff to you, but you have some type of belief somewhere that people don't like you, or that you aren't good enough, or that the internet is a poopy place, whatever, whatever the belief is, I don't know. But you did create it, or I did create you to create it. But it's fucking annoying, dude. It's contradicting is what it is. You can't say, oh, that you control these people that are directly in your circle, but not in this big wide circle. Like it's not the same consciousness or the same playing field. Yes, it is. It is. Like, and all the stuff that you see is just an illusion. It is, you guys, because there's only your bubble. There's nobody else's bubble. We can think that they're creating in their reality, but it's just us doing it. It really is, because how would you be able to change anybody else? I've changed people just by changing my mind. Like, how could I do that? I didn't have to affirm or like, tell. If I told them to affirm, it's because I'm believing that they're doing the work, and I'm believing that this work is going to help them. I'm doing it. It's me. I know I'm creating Sammy to do this. It's me. It's me thinking that she's thinking this way, and that I think she's stupid, and I think whatever I think about her. And so she's showing up that way. So it's like, I'm literally talking to myself too. I hate that she says like, oh, like, let's not, it sounds scary. Well, it sounds scary, but it still feels real. So it doesn't really matter. So, but you are alone, you guys. Like, you're literally alone. Like, it is what it is. I don't know. There's like a bunch of different perspectives I have that like it could be. I'm like, okay, like, yeah, it could definitely be that we're all like coexisting and like coming in and out of each other's reality. And like I'll get a specific version of my boyfriend because of how I feel about men, and he's getting a specific version of me because of how he feels about women. But I think I'm creating that too. I think I'm creating like, oh, he feels insecure, so like, because I'm bringing, like, he sees me in a certain way based off what's happened in his life from like his parents and stuff. But that's also me. I also have a belief that like there's childhood trauma. I also have a belief like, okay, he's been through this, so, and I think me growing up with my mom and stuff, that like I have a belief that I have to take care of people or something. And so I manifested somebody that I wanted to feel like that. I wanted it to feel like it was my mom. I wanted it to feel safe. I wanted it to, or you know what I mean? I unconsciously created somebody for me to love that felt similar and familiar to like a parent role or something like that. You know what I mean? So yes, like no, yes and no. Like you didn't create like the abuse and stuff, but like I think I'm not really sure like when you become aware or like when I think your brain is like on autopilot until you become aware. Like it just is going off of, okay, the world is a bad place, because think of all the Disney movies you watch and stuff. There's a lot of killing in Disney movies, and a lot of movies, they don't have parents. Bad things happen, and it's like we have this pretty strong belief that the world is a bad, scary place. You need to be careful. You can't trust people. You know, so like I think that is like playing on autopilot. And I think the minute that you decide that like this is different for me, I don't want to live in a crappy place, like the world is getting better and better, because I've noticed that too. If I assume, I'm like, if I stress out and I get too scared about something, about like when COVID happened and all that, really bad stuff started happening. But the minute I like learned that I could take my awareness away from it and like make a new reality for myself, like it like went away. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was like whatever. So that's another thing I thought was weird too, is like they say that like, oh, if you want a 3P to go away, just take your awareness away from it. And it's like, okay, well, I did that with COVID, and I guess COVID doesn't really exist anymore, but it's just like there's a lot of things that just do not make sense, do not add up from what these people are teaching. And even I question it all the time, because I don't really know. It's weird. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, because I take my awareness away from stuff all the time, and it still exists. But is it my belief that it exists? Or, you know, does it actually exist? I don't know. This stuff's weird, but it's like, you can't be telling people that like, oh, you create some things, but not all things. Like either you create it or you don't. And sometimes I think we're just manipulating energy, you know what I mean? Like, but then that would feel like we're forcing people to do things. And sometimes I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's why it's harder to manifest those people, because they don't want to do it. And so it feels harder because they're resisting it, you know? So I don't know, you guys. I don't really know. I want to think that everyone is thus pushed out means that we're in control of everything. And I have experienced that. I don't know. But then when people say like, oh, you're in control of everything, but you don't get to control the how, then it's like, then how are you in control of everything? You know? Like you could change I guess you could like Kim manifesting with Kimberly says, you could put out fires, right? So you have like your bridge of incidents, and then bad things happen on those incidents that lead you up to what you want, because they have to happen that way. But because you keep acknowledging them and not going to your end, and you keep trying to put out these fires, that's why it's like doesn't feel like, I guess technically you are in control of everything, even the how, if you want. But I don't know, you guys. It's just, crap is confusing, but it irritates me when it's like the person that was like teaching everyone about everyone as you pushed out, like is now saying that like, oh, you're not in control of everything and you're not in control of other people's behavior. I got coaching from her, and she told me that like, oh, well, I think that you just you want to be with this person, but you don't, it's their behavior that you don't like. So did I create this person's behavior or not? I don't know. That's why I'm like really not into like affirming as much anymore, and I'm just more authentically just living and knowing that everything is leading me to where I want to go. Like I know what I want, and I just say I trust you to bring me to it, because honestly, all the work you're doing anyways is just an appearance, like to make it feel like you're manifesting, but you're really not. It's just your higher self. Your higher self's just doing all the work for you, but it just appears like you're doing work, or like, because that's like the human experience. It's supposed to appear like you're doing stuff, but you're not. You're just getting moved like a puzzle piece. And yeah, I don't know, you guys can make your own opinion about it. I don't really know what I feel about it. I just know what I've experienced from it, and it doesn't make sense to me that it would be any other way than I am creating all of it in some form or another, you know, including people's behavior towards me. Because when I was thinking, like, you know, people love my content and stuff like that, like, I was like, oh, they love it, blah, 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 blah. I had people loving it. The minute I started worrying about it, people were coming in and saying stuff about it. The minute I stopped worrying about it, those people went away. So I really do think it's all us, you guys. Like, it just doesn't make sense that it would be any other way. We can't all have exactly what we want if we were all individually doing this. What? Oh, wow, that's a cool one, baby. It doesn't make sense. It cannot physically happen that way. If we could all have exactly what we wanted, think about it. There would be, it's like when these two girls were fighting over my cousin. I told them both how to manifest him. It's like, okay, who gets him? It has to be me that decides who gets him, right? Otherwise I wouldn't have any power. So it's all me. It has to be. There's no other way. Because if those two girls were manifesting him, who would win? Who would get him? Guess what? Nobody got him. So I don't know. It is confusing, you guys, but just the way that science works, like, I don't know. I want to believe that we're coexisting and stuff, but I don't think that it could physically be that way. If everybody, I don't know. Or maybe the universe makes it work in a way that we all can have exactly what we want. I don't know. And maybe that's why certain people come into our reality, because they also want the same thing. Who freaking knows, you guys? I don't know. I don't really care. I just want to live an authentic, happy life. And all the work that I've done over the past, like, 4 years, scripting and everything, it's all unfolding. Like, I've seen it unfolding, and it's just like, I'll have moments of bad times because it's a human experience, but I'm having more moments of good times. Like, I see more and more good things happening. So, like, I see everything that I was scripting unfolding in front of my eyes. So it's whatever. I'm not worried about anything. I just want to live my life. I don't want to live in my head. I don't think we're meant to live in our head. I don't think we're supposed to be, like, constantly worrying about what we're thinking. Like, I think we're supposed to have a good mindset, of course, but I don't think we're supposed to be flipping our thoughts. I don't think we're supposed to be affirming all the time. Like, I'll affirm sometimes if I, like, want to feel good or something, or I'll say, like, some good things about myself. Like, I'll say, you know, I don't know. I'll just say something that makes me feel in a good mood, but it's just like, I don't think we should be working for anything, because I don't think we need to. I think it's just done. It is done when we say it's done. And it's like, we want things so bad in the moment that we want them or need them, and we should have them then, but it's like, I don't know. It's whatever. That's not a bad word, Milo. Anyways, just know that everything's coming to you. It's done. You don't really need to do that much. The desperation for it is probably why it's not here anyways. So just, like, chill the F out and know it's done for real. Relax and trust that it's done, because it is.